Welcome back. Now, in our last session, we introduced or I brought you into this understanding of what I'd call the key to personal power in leadership development, or for that matter, anyone that wants to move towards achieving any goal in their lives. And I make mention how that when you are being motivated by what you don't want, you inherently are moving towards a direction you don't know. Or if you will, you're moving towards nowhere. However, when you are motivated towards what you want in life, then all the events that befall you in life, all the events that, if you will, happened to you, those events will happen on your way towards your journey. In other words, your focus, your direction towards that goal become the filter that enable you to stay focused. I make mention how working with professionals, some Christian professional executive in companies that want to start businesses and companies, how I focus on enabling them to filter out this very crucial value system. Now, let me introduce a concept here that I will touch in my next session, which is our values are based on a worldview, and our worldview are rooted in our environment or upbringing. But this worldview is the birthplace of all of our beliefs. Does that make sense? So with a belief come a worldview that inform that belief, and because of the beliefs, we naturally develop values in our practices that will help us hold on to the belief, or if you will, protects the belief. So value become how much are you willing to pay for that which you now believe. All right, so we will come to that concept again as I move to the next session. But let's come back to this. How do you then practically develop a lifestyle of practice towards the goal that you want to achieve in life? First, in the last session, I asked you to make a list of what your company, what your business, what your studies, what that which you're doing right now, what does it stand for? So your companies could be, I'd like to help people that are struggling with emotional pains or hurts, or returning veteran to find a job, or people coming out of prison and because of. So you want to be very clearly define why you do what you do. Or in other words, clearly define the vision and purpose, or if you will, mission statement of your company. Granted, if you are listening to me and you are not the owner of that company, you're intending to start your own company or your own business, this principle can have a binary application to you. One, what is the vision of that company that attracted you in the first place to work with them? And then, what is the vision behind your own intending company? And I said, when you make such as it were the list of the things that your company stand for, in them becomes the blueprint, or if you will, the pictures of what your subconscious mind is currently carrying about who you are. Herein become the key motivator. Then we want to ask the question, now, is your reason for starting that company, is your reason for starting that job based on moving away from people, pains, the environments of your pains, getting more money, better paid, to get a good house, a good car? Now look, we are not saying what are the good reason versus the bad reason, or if you will, wrong reason. Look, that's not what we are preoccupied. I also have a globally certified master's in positive psychology. Now look, our focus in this field of positive psychology is that we want to be focused on what is right with you rather than what is wrong. But that in a different subject matter. And I tell you, this is going to give you tremendous personal power. And you will be saying to yourself after listening to this lecture series, wow, 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 I needed this in order to move forward. Now, we want to be aware. What is it? What is it that I stand for in my business? And what is the main motivator? To have money, to move away from my neighborhood. And then we want to ask the question to yourself, why? Why do you want to have more money? This question now will bring you to your current belief. Does that make sense? So the job, the practice within the context of that job is considered a value because of the belief of moving away from not having money. You make a value based on that belief, and this value is going to be work. And guess how you're going to work? That's right. You must have deduced by now that you're going to work hard. Here comes that word, hard, or if you will, harder. Mean extra hours, extra days. Now, there is nothing wrong. Again, there is nothing wrong about working extra hours, extra days, or extending the days in a week, if you will, if you're able to accomplish that beside God. But be as it may, what we have been very careful to observe or to be aware of or being mindful of is the reason behind, the why behind the why. Does that make sense? So if this value is to get more money, we are then driven through the belief system that says having less money is bad or wrong, therefore make more money. Then the principles of making more money are now categorized by working hard, or if you will, working harder. Does that make sense? Now, we'll move to the next step. Now, if you were to start a business, start a company, not based on having more money, but because you love that business, you love that work practice or that working environment. If you were to do your job based on the fact that you really, that is, really love what you do, how would you live your life? And if you were to plant or start a business based on this incredible excitement and joy that this business, doing something like that, brings you life, how would that look like? In other words, here's the question. What is it in your life that brings you life? Right now, think about it. What brings you life? Good. Now think about this. Why does that brings you life? Why does it make you come alive? Now, ask yourself this question. Does this thing that I've just discovered that makes me come alive, it makes me want to thrive and be on fire, does it connect to what I'm currently doing? And how is it connected to my business? Now, look, I know these are very, very powerful questions, and this is due to my executive leadership background, and I'm giving you a rare gift, and I know this is going to empower you towards incredible results in your personal development and your ability to work and develop your own company. Now, when I do coaching with people one-on-one, we move to different levels of application, but this is the general picture, and I think this can be rewarding for you to apply. When you have this, and I'd like you to ask yourself one question as we wrap up this session. If my company could be rooted and motivated by one thing, what would that be? And if that one thing has to do with me rather than with others, if that one thing has to do with me rather than other people, what would that one thing be? And lastly, what can I do now to make that one thing a key foundational roots for my company, for my business, for my job, and for my lifestyle. In the next session, I will see you as we talk on beliefs.